Hey, this is Sho-Tyme. I'm from Queens, New York, Far Rockaway, and I'm here, ready to rock this interview, give some insight on how I view dance and what dance has done for me, and shout out to my little baby crew, SOD, which means students of dance. That's what we truly are, students of dance. Yeah. I'm a street dancer, and the beauty about that is there's a lot of different styles of dance that go up under street dance, and that's just a beautiful thing about the art form of dance in general. There's so much under the umbrella of art. I love hip hop. I love different styles of hip hop. Of course, I like house, popping, locking, African. I should have said that first because African is where it's all coming from. But there's so much out there that I love and I'm drawn to, and the art form itself. My favorite, it's a feeling. It's a feeling for me. I just really love and appreciate the art form of dance. So it's all a feeling. Like some days or moments I'm feeling, hip hop. It's what I've been doing the longest. But then there's days where I'm just enjoying, house, or I'm having a lot of fun with popping, which is, everything is still a learning process, and I'm still growing inside of it, even though I've been doing the dance for years. So it just varies. It all goes back to the music. The music like inspires me to feel. So in that particular moment, it's all about the feeling that I'm riding with. Well, if I want to speak on a style in particular, I would say let's go with hip hop and all the different layers and colors that come inside of hip hop dance. Just looking at what we have been doing over the years with hip hop since hip hop has been born. It's great to see that when you go back into your history, some of the same dances, a lot of the same dances has already been done in African and original jazz dances. So when you see that and you just see how it just all become connected, and you get to enjoy the art form for what it is, that it's just being passed down from generation to generation, and then the layers over the years that comes with it. That's the beauty about dance itself. It just has so many different layers. You gotta dig. Once you find the root of it, then you get to appreciate all the layers that's on top of the root of it. Well, there's the history, and then there's all the many individuals' history inside and on top of that. My history inside of the history is that from 5 years old to now, I've been able to be blessed to still do it, one, and see the fact that it's changed my life and that it has changed many people's lives around the world. That's my history. There's a lot of detailed information inside of it, but for the most part, My history is very important because it's what it means to me and what made me who I am as a dancer today, and as a teacher of dance. So, and then you have the history and the culture, which means the expression of hip hop that came from so many different directions. The way we dress, the way we walk, the way we talk, the content of what the MCs were speaking about, the freedom of expressing themselves musically to get out to the public, to let people see exactly the type of conditions that we're living in. Man, like that right there alone changed. It changed a lot. It changed it so much that, you know, the government had to start censoring what a lot of MCs wanted to put out. It was too much. So when you look at that history right there, it's groundbreaking. You know, there was, of course, rhythm and blues that also told their story and what they were going through. But it didn't get the radio play it deserved. When hip hop came on the scene, it changed a lot. It changed a lot. It inspired a lot, and it changed a lot. And I think it scared a lot of people of power. But when you look at from the graffiti to the dance to the music to the MCs, like I said, the way we walk, talk, dress, just all of these things that just become a part of the culture. Man, it's life-changing for some people, and it was all a way of expressing our community, what was going on in our community. And then inside of that, you had the individuals expressing themselves inside of that. So it's just layers of expressing yourself through hip-hop, the culture of hip-hop. That on that magnitude and so many other levels, you got to look back and go, wow. You know, I'm thankful to be able to say I grew up in that culture. I had an outlet to be able to express myself in that culture. So there's detailed information about who started it, who did this and who did that. There's a lot of opinions, and there's facts and things. But for me, I think the overall point that should be addressed is the beauty that came out of hip hop, the togetherness, the love and the peace, and being able to have an outlet to express yourself on a wide scale from so many different angles and levels. That's, for me, that's the biggest picture, and that's very important. All the particulars about who's this and who coined the name of that and who this, that's there. I think people should look into that and learn that. When you're thinking about the history and the culture, I like to shed light on what it actually did, how it uplifted people within our neighborhoods, and then how it went around the world and uplifted and brought and shed light on what people were going through. They had a way of saying, oh, okay, I can speak about what I'm going through. So, life-changing. What's interesting about my dance journey is I did it then because the music, you just couldn't sit there and, when you heard music, you couldn't sit there and just be still. The music had you doing something. You may not know what you were doing, but it had you moving. The beautiful thing about that is from 5 years old to now, it's the same way. So my journey, I'm able to see my journey and grow with my journey from day one to now, where I never lost that initial feeling of, man, this feels good. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on in the lyrics, but it feels good. I was able to grow and mature with that. So my journey is a blessing because, it saved my life. It took me out of the street way of living that I used to live. But at the same time, I never lost my love and that initial feeling of, man, what is this? This feels good and I gotta move and whatever. Later on, you start to formulate what it is you're doing and the style of it and the names and all of that stuff. But that raw feeling of just movement, because the music is telling you to move, there's nothing like it. That's my journey. Like, I'm able to look at from then to now and go, that's an incredible journey to never lose that initial feeling of, this just feels great. And then later on, it's like, man, it changed my life. You can't beat that. You know what I'm saying? So, especially, with God giving me the opportunity to express myself and to even wake up to see another day, is first and foremost the biggest blessing of all. So my journey is, what I'm doing today, and what I would love to continue doing is spreading the love for the dance and helping people understand the love inside of the dance, not the superficial goals and uncertainty goals of the industry. Because right now, everything is moving so fast that people don't actually love the art form. They love where they think it can take them. They love the aspect of that goal. They're not really understanding how to just love the art form of the dance, whether there's a goal or not. So if I can continue trying to instill that into the now generation, then I'm able to continue enjoying my journey from then to now. I mean, my contribution is always going to be to using this art form to try to bring people together. Now it's so much dancing against each other and less dancing together that it's like, my goodness, like, sometimes even here in the States, and then when you go overseas, you're like, is anybody dancing together? Is it always at each other? And there's nothing. I have nothing against that, because to test your skills, to better yourself, you have friendly, trading of information. That's how the dance grew. People taking from each other and flipping it and flipping it and flipping it, and then you like, man, we on to something, okay? But at the same time, my vision and what I would like to see happen, I would like to see people come together more and actually dance together. I respect the battles, I respect the events and all of that stuff, but I think it's just there's a lack of togetherness, and that was the main reason why this thing came together. That's one of the main reasons of the culture, which is togetherness. We have to get our voice out there to be heard so that people can recognize what we're going through. And we have this beautiful way of doing it. Now, when people speak about the culture, they're just talking about what was. They're not talking about how it still exists today. You know, you have the average kid saying, oh, that's old school. Really? What do you mean it's old school? It's the reason why we have what we have today, because there was an essence, there was a substance there. So if I'm blessed to continue doing what I'm doing, my vision is to try to get people to not only remember, but respect and learn how to coexist with the root of the culture, which is coming together, not going at it, you know. So it's an ongoing struggle and fight. But if it was that easy, then I probably wouldn't be sitting here doing this interview right now. My definition of freestyle is pretty much vernacular movement, spontaneous movement to music. Now here's the thing, people think doing whatever is freestyle. I can just hear a song and just move and just do whatever I want. You have to actually know the style of dancing that you're doing in order to be able to express yourself with vernacular movement within the style. You can't just do whatever. So, one, you can understand what was done before you better when you actually learn the style. You can go, now when you stumble across something and you're like, oh, that feels good. You can go, oh, wait a minute, that's actually called this. Nowadays, people can't actually go back and say, oh, man, that felt good. But you know what? I thought I just stumbled across something new that never been done before. But now, because I know my history and I know the foundation and the roots, that's actually called such and such. I got a different feel and a different approach to it, but it's already been done. But when you're freestyling, you have to be able to, one, know the style of dance that you're doing before you can just express yourself within inside of the style. Choreography is something you do with the style. There's no style called choreography. I will always stand behind that. It's like you take the art form of dance, you take a genre of dance that has foundation and vocabulary, and you can make a routine with it. You can make choreography with it. Can you just do a dance called choreography? No. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can choreograph walking, but is there another name for walking? Like, my style is choreography walking. No, you're walking. So it's like, and once again, because things are moving so fast, everyone is trying to find something that try to separate themselves from the next person. You know, we have a style called choreography. We got a style called this. We got a style called that. There's hip hop and heels, then there's smooth hip hop, and then there's this hip hop. It's like, you guys, if you strip away those titles and just look at what you're doing, you're gonna see that you're not doing hip hop and heels. You just, the same movements that you did in sneakers, you put on some heels, it don't change the style and the genre. You just change the shoes. So I don't see how, I see how it happens. That means, we're not paying attention to what we quickly say, because we're so quickly trying to defend, but it's different. No, when you understand the root and the culture of what you're doing, then you can see that all I did was change my shoes. Well, I think Hollywood, because of the glitz and glamour that comes along with Hollywood purposely, like Hollywood definitely has made it so that you can see and reap the benefits from what you're doing, and it pulls you away from actually knowing what you're doing. So I think in the industry world, you're able to take your art form to a level and be able to have it seen and viewed and publicized on a mass scale. But at the same time, there's something that's going to come behind that. And what comes behind that a lot of the times in the industry is there's no essence. There's no foundation. It's just whatever, because there's this thing of you have to dumb it down for the average person who don't know. So you have to simplify it for the average person that don't know, who don't know nothing about the dance. Okay, if you don't know nothing about it, why do I need to dumb it down so that it makes sense to you? I can just teach it to you how it is. Either way, you don't know. So now it's like when I look at both worlds, can a dancer coexist in both worlds? Yeah. But because now it's all about the fame and popularity versus I really love this art form and I know what it means to me, and you want to stay true to it, you have to make this decision. Do I want this or do I do this? And then when with that comes a lot of who's looking at me, who's going to judge me to say, oh, you're just doing that, look at what we doing. So now you have to find this line of decision to say, I want to be accepted by all of this, so maybe I should do that. And then in the street dance world, you have, I want to be accepted by this. When people are really forgetting to accept the art form for what it is and what it firstly do to you, for you, and not be so concerned with what this person is going to say, what this person is going to say. I need my street cred up. I need my industry cred up. What about what you see when you look in the mirror? Because you didn't come in with all of these people and their opinions. You didn't come into this world with all these people and all their opinions. So I feel like, in a sense, today, both the industry and the street dance world, in some way, shape, or form, is ruining the beautiful art form of dance. And because it's too much, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. And it's not enough, this is how you do it. So that you can understand both. But most importantly, understand who you are inside of this. It's not enough that going on. It's more of, if you win a certain amount of battles, then your street cred is up. If you do a certain amount of jobs, then that cred is up. At the end of the day, whether you battle or do videos and stuff in the industry, does that determine if you're a dancer or not? You gotta ask yourself that. Can you be a dancer without either one? And some people don't think that they can. They have to have one of these things to validate themselves as a dancer. And that's when they have stepped away from the mirror to see who they are inside of it. Because now they're constantly looking for validation from one or two places. So I think that the industry hurts it a lot. And I think the street dance world is hurting it in a lot of different aspects. Maybe a lot of people don't want to hear what I'm saying or disagree. But once again, this is my point of view because I've been able to live in both worlds and understand that world, this world, and I have to say, well, this is me. I'm going to continue being me whether this world don't exist anymore or this world don't exist anymore. I'm not going to disappear because they're no longer around. So that's my opinion. That's a small version of my opinion of the industry and the street dance world. What I feel about the current generation of dancers is there's some talented, things going on. Like, there's some people that's like they're pushing their limits and doing things with their body that you're just like, nice. That's very creative, and they just, there's some of them out there that's just going for it and allowing the freedom within inside of the style to just let them express themselves and push themselves to some crazy creative places. And is anything that stands out? That's one thing, and then the other part of it is a lot of the current generation is not going back and learning the history, what was before them, what was before hip-hop, to be able to help them be more knowledgeable about the things that they're doing today, because it could actually propel them to another level in what they're doing today, what their natural capabilities are. It could potentially take them to another level if they knew, oh wow, that was done already? It's called this? Oh cool, so now I'm gonna go learn that. Now instead of me doing what I did naturally, now I understand where it came from. I learned that. And now it's giving me more fuel to be more creative because now I know where it came from. Now because today's music is forcing me to move like this, to sit in it like this, jump on top of it like that, come out of it like that, I'm more knowledgeable now. Right now it's the egotistic mind frame of what I did is what it is and I'm the man and all of that. Nah. Because at the same time, you got to understand everything we're doing has been done already. It's just the music of today that's formulating us to have a certain feel of how we do it. But when you strip it all down and go, oh no, that's that. And all the great dancers before us has been saying the same thing. Before hip hop, they had the original jazz dancers that was like, oh, it's the same stuff that we used to do before there was a hip and a hop. So it's the same thing. It's just this, I think that now in current generation would actually become more subject to last longer and be more knowledgeable if they went back and learned exactly what they're doing. But I respect a lot of the now generation and their creativity. It's amazing. One, you look over the history of dance, and the beauty of it is it's still here. It ain't being exposed like I feel it should be exposed, like it has the potential to be exposed, but the art form itself is still here. And that's the big part about when the industry get their hands on things. It's take, let me pull, and then the essence is just stripped away, because at the end of the day, there's a hidden agenda behind it, and it's usually money. And I'm not sorry to say, people don't forget money is the root of all evil, and it can quickly change how you view everything in life today. Leon James, Almonds. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Dances that inspire me: Leon James, Almonds, Frankie Manny, Norma Miller. You know, when I look at, and there's so many others, but the one from back then that inspires me, that I look at and go, man, is Leon James. And the style, the personality, the creativity, the feeling, man. I look at it and go, it doesn't matter what I've done, over the years of my dance career. I appreciate my journey, but if I had to compare myself to the dancers of before, man, we suck. Oh my goodness, man, we got a long way to go. And one of the reasons is because a lot of us are so caught up in thinking that we actually created something. And today, there's quite a few young guys out there, young girls out there that I look at and go, man, that's pretty creative, and I like. But for me to be inspired, especially because I've been doing it for over 35 years, for me to be truly inspired by the now generation is pretty much going to come from your meaning behind the dance. Not so much of what you're doing with the dance, your meaning behind it. Is it just you're just doing it to be doing it? You're doing it for popularity, you're doing it to get some money and blah, 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 whatever the case may be. Because that's what I look for. I look to see if someone's actually enjoying the dance and loving the dance, as opposed to just doing it because they've been placed in a position of popularity status. So, Poppin' Pete, he's a big inspiration to me. I look at him and he's 53. This year he'd be 54. And his stubbornness to just keep going, he's just stubborn. He's just a stubborn guy, stubborn man that just refuses to sit down and say, I've done enough. Let me go and sit back and watch what's coming up. No. And then you have so many others that are like him, but without giving a whole list of names, he stands out because, one, he's 53 years old and will be 54 in a few months, and I personally don't know anyone of that age that's just like, I refuse to stop. There ain't nothing stopping me, and I'm I still got more growing to do. I still got more stuff that I need to learn. And I'm going, yeesh. Okay, I need to get something going. So, but my all-time favorite who I've learned about over the years, there's so many people back home in New York that I respect and what they've done for hip-hop, for street dance period, house, locking, popping, African. I just love what comes out of New York, from the older generation to the now generation. I respect all the brothers and sisters there, and all the other states, the South and the Midwest and the West Coast. But I've found a lot of inspiration in the older dances. Yeah, before our time. My words of wisdom to all the dancers that are coming up, the inspiring dancers, is to, don't be such in a rush. Get out of the popularity status of views on internet. Get out of that. Those views don't mean anything. It's not what's making you a better dancer. It's not what's going to make you a better dancer, those views. What makes you a better dancer is how you apply yourself to the dance. Not about who's saying this and who's watching you and all of that. So, just because someone's popularity is at a certain level in this dance, it doesn't. Let's just keep it real. At the end of the day, we all got opinions. We can say the best is this person. Is that a fact? No. It's an opinion. It's an opinion across the board. My best dancer could be somebody who's I don't see nothing hot about that. That means that's our opinion. We can argue all day long. Nah, you're wrong. Whatever. It's our opinion. So my advice and knowledge that I would love for the now generation and maybe some of the older generations to remember and realize, the popularity status of how quick it is to become famous over the internet does not make your skills in dance at a high level. The only thing that's high about your level is the amount of people watching it. It doesn't mean your skills is at a high level. So go back to the basics. Go back to the basics, and that means go back to understanding, why are you even dancing? What is dance even doing for you? And when you hear that phrase, doing for you, you won't be so focused on how others. When you look at you and others, you start to understand, okay, I need to take care of me before I worry about others. And once you understand how to do that, then you can start seeing the beauty inside of the dance and what will be beneficial to you, what will help you grow and get better. If you have people in your corner that you trust to critique you and say, work on this, go tackle that, go learn this, go learn that, cool. If you don't have that, the information is out there. Spend more time doing the history on the information that was before us, rather than spending a lot of time looking to see who won the last battle and looking at he or she won doing that, so let me get a version of that. That's what's going on. Oh, that video got a certain amount of views, so I'm gonna do my choreography like that. That's the hottest new way of movement right now, because this artist did it and that artist did it. Look, it got 100 million views. I'm gonna jump on that. You're gonna spend 10, 15 years, probably even more of that with no identity. And if that's what you want, if that's what makes you happy, then by all means, take that path. But somewhere along the line, you're gonna run into that wall of reality that's gonna be like, what did you do for you in this dance? There's one thing to be inspired, and there's another thing to just copy and mock and imitate and do over and over. So that's my words of wisdom. Go back to the basics and start understanding why there's an art form that allows us to express ourselves. Find out what it means to you, and then go back to the drawing board. Start slow. Take your time. Don't worry about moving fast. Don't worry about, I just started in January, so by April, I need to be one of the elite dancers. Once again, it's an opinion. Nobody can crown you the best dancer in the world and it's official. Nobody can crown you a top elite dancer and it's actually official. You gotta know who you are inside of the dance and be okay with that. If you get a compliment, if you get, people saying, I like what you do, yeah. If you don't, guess what? You still got you and what it means to you. And you keep it moving. That's a hard thing to do, but that's the reality of it. So, take that, understand what I'm trying to say. It's not to cut people down. It's not to talk about people, throw anybody under the bus. If you're going to learn properly. You can't go from first grade to college just because somebody say, nah, you ready? You ready? Let's go. You ready? You're going to miss a lot of information. Then when you get up there, you're going to run into something in college that's going to be like, wait a minute, I don't know that. Because they taught that in 5th grade. But you missed it. You know what I'm saying? So take that with you, and there's so much more to share. But hopefully that's enough information for you guys to understand what you need to do to become a dancer inside of the dance. Well, I mean, to enlighten anyone, to share any enlightenment on anyone out there. There's so many things against us these days. There's so many things that's going on in the world these days. There's so many countries. There's so many kids that don't even know if they're going to make it through the entire day, let alone have the opportunity to take a dance class, to express themselves through dance. They just don't even know if they're going to make it to school and back home. So when you start to tap into that, and all the other examples that are out there, start understanding your true blessing it is to even wake up and see another day, and what you're blessed to be able to do throughout that day, all the options of things that you can choose to do or not do. There's some people that don't have one option. So be thankful, be blessed, humble yourselves. Drop to your knees and pray and thank God for allowing you to see another day, to be able to have options to experience what a great day is or a bad day. Either way, if you make it through the day, how bad can it be when you compare it to somebody who didn't make it through the whole day? That's the biggest enlightenment I can give. Is what's happening today in the world with kids, with mothers, with fathers, so many innocent people. They living without options. They living without knowing if this is their last day because of what's going on right down the block. So if you got the freedom to have options, be thankful and understand how blessed you are with just that alone, let alone talk about any other nonsense. Because without life, ain't nobody hearing you, and you can't do nothing. You have no voice to be heard, to push the future, unless it's something past tense that you said. But once you're gone, that's it. You just gotta live with what you said or did before. So wake up and just understand the way the world is going today. If you are blessed to have options to better yourself in dance, do something good with it. Be blessed and understand that you have an option to do something good with it, because someone right now is losing their life. And that's real. That's real. Sometimes we need to step out of our comfort zone of just thinking, I can wake up and I can decide if I'm going to go to work or not. I can decide which meal I want to eat. If I want to go to Wendy's, if I want to go to McDonald's, if I want to go to this. Like it hurts to see that, including myself, have taken advantage of waking up and just having a complaint about, like, you know, when I wake up and sometimes I'm complaining about this and complaining about that, I'm like, really, dude? You talking about that? You complaining about that? Somebody didn't eat for a week. Somebody didn't eat for a month. You complaining about a bill or something that goes on, and you know that's an easy fix situation. So it's like, we need to wake up and start understanding what's going on in the world, because it's not too late, but it's getting late. Hold on to that and understand exactly what that means. It's not too late, but it's getting late. I never like to talk about my work, any artist that I'm working with. So my shout out would be I truly thank God for allowing me to see another day and make it through another night and be able to even sit here and have an opportunity to inspire somebody through this interview. So thank you, God, for the opportunity. If that's a shout out, then that's my shout out.